Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come inside the reel room. In this video, I've got a bunch of parts and pieces on this table, and if I bump the table the wrong way and lose a screw, it's gonna be a bad day for me. But this video is important to do because I want to explain to everybody the difference between these Penn reels. There's 4 reels on the table, okay? And what I have here is I have a standard model Penn Battle 3, and then I have this silver one that is the DX series. And it's the same with the Slammer 4 and the Slammer 4 DX. And I know some of you are going to look at that and say, oh, it's just one's black, one's silver. It's more complex than that. There's a couple doodads and differences in the DX series, and this video is to explain to you guys exactly what a Penn DX series reel is. What separates the original from the DX? Is it worth the added money? Hopefully this video will help break all that down for you today. What is the DX series and how is it different from the standard models? Well, to start, the DX model stands for dealer exclusive, okay? So that basically means that not all retailers have access to the DX model. We're fortunate enough to be able to offer it. It is an upgrade over the standard series, and we're going to talk about what those upgrades are. But this isn't something you're going to find on Amazon, probably not going to find it on eBay. It's not going to be an easy item to find. So we're very, very lucky to be able to offer these in our online tackle shop. To start, if you guys want to know how much braid does this hold, and how much does the drag output look like, and what's the inches per turn, this isn't for you. Go over to fishstrong.com. We have for every single reel size of every reel we offer in our store, we're going to tell you guys exactly all of those specifications for each reel. This video is going to be talking about what really separates the DX model from the standard. So now that we know what DX stands for, let's talk about how these reels are similar. Well, just from gutting both of these reels and looking at the internals, I think everything is exactly the same on the Battle 3 series compared to the DX. I mean, they're solid metal bodies, same type of bail armature. They're both going to have HT100 drag stacks to them. They're both going to have a sealed ball bearing and a collar here on the side plate. And they're both going to have brass pinion gears. You guys can see that in there. And same here with the DX model. The only difference that I can see between the Battle 3 and the Battle 3 DX is this right here. So on the standard Battle 3, you've got what looks like coated aluminum, and then on the Battle 3 DX, you've got a brass main gear. Now, what does that technically mean? I mean, there's a difference of like 10 to 20 bucks between the standard and the DX model. To have a brass main gear, brass is a harder metal than aluminum. Aluminum is slightly softer, and really what that means is over time, as these teeth wear down, the brass is going to wear better than the aluminum. I personally think that it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other, but this makes a difference to those guys that are going to catch, let's say, big redfish in deep water in some current, and they're winching down on those fish over and over and over. Brass is going to maintain its integrity better than aluminum long term. That is the objective benefit. Now, when you get over to the Slammer 4 series, it's not a little more complicated, it is a lot more complicated. The Slammer 4 is an entirely different animal. IPX6 sealed. The standard series comes with brass sealing, and as I went through taking apart this reel, I learned a lot. On the 2500 size only, Penn still uses their HT100 drag, but on the 3500 size and higher, they use their DuraDrag, which is like a phenolic coating on the carbon fiber disc washers, and it just helps prolong the longevity and the smoothness of the drag. But essentially, the difference between these two is a matter of, like, let's say $30 or so, size for size. And in just looking at how well these are sealed, you've got a perimeter gasket here throughout the Slammer 4, okay? And then even from the main shaft side of things, this assembly right here, let's see if I can see all that. This is pretty much all the pieces that are sitting on the main shaft. You got a rubber washer there, rubber washer underneath, ball bearing, and then a couple of metal sleeves or collars. Put that back. And then even the main bolt here, the nut that sits on top and holds the rotor in place, has a washer on the top side and there's not a washer on the bottom side, but forgive me, there is a washer here on the rotor itself. There's just washers everywhere, which is awesome. I mean, this is a well-sealed product. It can handle abuse from the elements pretty well. But what separates it from the DX series? Well, to get down to the brass tacks of it, haha, brass, pun intended. Anyways, I'll be here all night. The biggest difference is, first off, they decided to go with an additional ball bearing here that sits on the main shaft. Is that worth a $30 difference? It's arguable. I think it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. It does provide a little better support to the spool when it's sitting on the main shaft, and basically the thickness of these extra ball bearings are going to provide better support here to the spool. But that's really not what separates the price. What does separate the price, bring these in together, get that out of the way, is the main gear. So the Slammer 4 standard offers brass on a brass pinion, but the Slammer 4 DX offers stainless steel on a stainless steel pinion gear. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that back there. A little more complicated how these are assembled, so I'm not going to take apart the oscillation and the main shaft and show the difference. Again, very similar to comparing the aluminum and the brass conversation, brass to stainless. This is rock solid. The machining necessary to make a stainless steel gear is pretty intense. Penn's going to go through machinery making stainless steel gears much faster than they are to make brass. It's just a harder metal. It's going to take a little longer to cut. It's going to wear down on the teeth of their CNC machining, which is important to mention. Penn uses what they call CNC machining or gear technology. That's computerized numerical control. That's what that stands for. And it is a precision aspect to coding their computers to cut all of their main gears to their specifications so that everything is cut perfectly and exactly the same every single time. Just, in my opinion, the epitome of precision. So just well-cut main gears regardless of the material. But if you want to talk about the advantages and the differences, technically the verdict is not yet out because these haven't been on the market all that long, but brass does offer, ironically, a little better corrosion resistance than stainless. I still think it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other because these are sealed so well. You're not really going to be dunking these reels. That's not what they're designed for. So you shouldn't have to worry about a lot of water building up here in the gearbox anyways. But that is an objective difference between brass and stainless from from the integrity of the metal itself. But there is a benefit to going with a stainless gear set, and that is longevity. I mean, this is what's included in all the van stalls, and as you guys know, stainless steel, it's never going to wear down. I'd be curious to see how it looks long term, but my guess is that with the amount of effort and machining that Penn's going to go through to produce stainless steel gears of this caliber, these are probably not going to be found everywhere. We are very fortunate to offer these in our tackle shop, and it is the highest quality gear material you can put in a spinning reel. And to get these for about 300 and change, 350 bucks, that's pretty awesome. That's a high quality gear packed into that reel. So that pretty much covers it. That is the main differences between the Battle 3, Battle 3 DX, Slammer 4, Slammer 4 DX. If you guys have any questions about the DX models, Penn reels, anything you want to know, leave a question down below in the comment section or come over to our blog. I will read everything there and respond to you personally. I have a Slammer 4 DX 5500 with 40-pound braid. I'm really excited to use this on big tarpon, snook, some cobia, maybe even some jigging offshore. So I'm going to get a lot of use out of this reel through 2023 and beyond. But if you guys have any experience with the DX series, I would love to hear from you. And if you're one of our insider members at Salt Strong, you guys are going to get free braid spooling, and you're going to get free shipping on any reel you purchase from fishstrong.com. You guys are only going to get that when you're logged into your insider membership. So guys, that pretty much covers it. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the water soon.